Welcome to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. The Bible tells one big story of redemption, and we want to spend 5 minutes every day journeying through the Bible from start to finish and exploring how all of it points to Jesus. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. My name is Aubrey Coleman, one of the hosts for the podcast, and today we're looking at 1 Kings chapters 13 through 15. Solomon's encouragement of idol worship in Israel, ultimately, by the hand of God, led to the division of his kingdom. The southern kingdom of Judah and Benjamin was ruled by Solomon's son, and the remaining 10 tribes of the north were ruled by Jeroboam. The next few chapters interchange between the history of both kingdoms, beginning with Jeroboam's. God promised a future dynasty for Jeroboam if he continued in obedience, but instead Jeroboam irrationally constructed 2 golden calves as a place of worship. As a result, an anonymous prophet of Judah was sent by God to share a message of judgment to come for Jeroboam's idolatry at the hands of a future king named Josiah. Ironically, even after witnessing the fulfillment of said prophecies right before his own eyes, Jeroboam did not change his ways. When his son Abijah had fallen ill, Jeroboam encouraged his wife to disguise herself so she could visit the prophet Ahijah to ask why their son was ill. This is the same prophet who predicted Jeroboam would be king. However, Ahijah already knew of her coming as warned by God, and he recognized her. He proceeded to tell her that God said even though he made Jeroboam king, Jeroboam had been unrighteous and created false gods. Because of that, God planned to bring disaster and ruin to him and to punish Israel because of his sins. He then foretold that the child would die when she returned home. After a tragic event, we see an abrupt shift to Rehoboam's kingdom, Judah. In God's eyes, Judah had been unrighteous and worshiped false gods too. So after 5 years of reigning, Rehoboam was greatly attacked and robbed of his golden shields by the king of Egypt. Jeroboam and Rehoboam dealt with the repercussions of their sin, and they were continually at war with one another. From the reign of Solomon to each following succession, the history of Israel's kings represented a downward spiral of idolatry and disobedience, with only a handful of faithful ones who desired to please the Lord. It may lead us to wonder how God showed mercy to Israel for so long. A theme woven through the book of 1 Kings is God's mercy shown to his people for the sake of David. God remembers David as a faithful servant who did what was right in God's eyes, even in light of the matter of Bathsheba and Uriah the Hittite. What a merciful God. And God continues his mercy by treating the generations that follow David with mercy because of the faithfulness of one man, David. God essentially was viewing them through his obedience. Of course, David's faithfulness was imperfect and impartial, and it was not enough to sustain the Lord's mercy on his people. But the New Testament reveals that the obedience and faithfulness of Jesus Christ was perfect and complete. Jesus Christ bore the sinful weight of his people in a way that every king failed to do. Because of Jesus, those who put their faith and hope in him can stand before God with confidence as one approved. God then looks on us for the sake of Jesus and bestows his endless mercy and grace on us forever. Thanks so much for joining us today. Be sure to follow along on our Instagram pages at Daily Grace Podcast and at The Daily Grace Co. And check out our website, www.thedailygraceco.com, for all kinds of resources to help you dive deeper into God's Word. On the website, you can find our Story of Redemption study to accompany this podcast, as well as Story of Redemption journals that have dedicated journaling space for every single chapter of the Bible. You can always find resources to accompany the podcast at dailygracepodcast.com. And if you enjoyed today's episode, could you leave a rating or review on iTunes to help more people find out about our show? Thank you so much, and we look forward to chatting again with you tomorrow.